Mirror now spoke exclusively to Aditya Thackeray, confronting him about the rising number of cases and the state government and the civic body grappling with answers.
Across 50,000 cases, and alone in Mumbai there are more than 30,000 cases. So how Maharashtra and Mumbai going to tackle this issue? Will Maharashtra get any kind of control over Corona or not? To talk on that, we have Minister Aditya Thackeray, who is also Guardian Minister for Mumbai. Aditya, thanks for speaking with me. Now, my first and direct question to you. Every day we are seeing a rise in number. It's Mumbai, it's Maharashtra. People are scared about it. We have seen that a lot of people are leaving Mumbai and they're going back to their respected native places in other states. When are we going to get control? What is the plan, action plan for Mumbai and Maharashtra?
Firstly, the point is, when your numbers rise in an epidemic or a pandemic, if you see the global scale of it, of course, India is still, more or less in control looking at the population size. Mumbai and Maharashtra, Maharashtra is a state and Mumbai is, of course, the capital city of Maharashtra where a lot of international flyers do come in. Wherever there is, an international transit, the virus tends to be more in terms of this virus because it was earlier the traveler's bug. Of course, Mumbai is much more complicated also in that sense because the population density, the way we all live, the community toilets, the spread is bound to happen. The fact of the matter is, if we start hiding the numbers, if we start getting scared of the numbers, it's not going to help anyone. We have to face the numbers. We have to take the numbers head on, not look at what the rise is, but we have to see how many cases can we identify. Normally, when we're looking at a number, in a pandemic like this, especially a pandemic like this, which the world has never seen before, the success of the government is not where the numbers are not identified. Irrespective of what the number is, the success of the government really lies where the numbers may be high, but you are finding all these numbers, identifying them, and isolating them. That is why you reach the peak and you start dropping. World over, if you see, every government that has been, sort of more or less successful in managing this scenario has not been scared of numbers. Likewise, the Maharashtra government is not scared of numbers. We are going full on. We're doing SARI surveillance. We're doing influenza-like illness surveillance. Every possible surveillance, we're taking precautions and trying to safeguard our population.
But there's a criticism against BMC because BMC initially started door-to-door screening basically in Dharavi. Then it was stopped. Then they started oximeter screening. Then it was stopped. So why this flip-flop is happening and not a smooth thing happening? Because if we consider the number, because this was not the case that Maharashtra government or the BMC was not aware of it, that how many people are staying in Mumbai, what infrastructure would be needed if such pandemic happened in Mumbai. So why we are so late and why this flip-flop happened on the policy matter in BMC?
No, not really. See, in the sense of the line of treatment or even identifying the population that is, more susceptible to this virus or vulnerable to this virus, you have to have at least 3 rounds of screening. The line of treatment or even how to, get everything together has been changing the world over. Initially, everyone thought ventilators were very useful. Now we're looking at oxygen concentrators that are being very useful. So these things, as medically things change, we will be changing and we'll be adapting to newer methods. Oximeter is still one of the methods used right now. Fever screening is being done. So these are things that we have to constantly keep evolving with inputs from around the world.
Lately we started the domestic travel. Earlier, Maharashtra government was really not in favor of that. But now we have started 25 flights we are allowing to take to land and to take off. But what about the public? What about the transportation? Because people are finding it very difficult to find any kind of mode of transport from the airport to their respective states. So why this miss? Because we saw Anil Deshmukh first said, no, we don't require and it is not needed. Then CM sir said that, yes, we will think about it. And all of a sudden it started.
No, whenever we get out of a lockdown, see, when we went into lockdown, we cannot come out of it with a knee-jerk reaction. We can't just open up everything. Whichever city in the world has done that has gone back into lockdown for the fear of the fact that you could have another round of infection again. With Mumbai airport and its capacity, the scale that the amount of passengers come in, you cannot have a sudden opening up of the airport which is unplanned. You have to consult the state government, figure out the necessities around it. Now, constantly we've been asking the local railways to start to take our essential services, be it policemen, be it nurses, be it doctors from one place to another, so that our BST buses can be engaged in public transport. So these are things that we are in consultation with. But like I said, you cannot just start off something right away. It has to be staggered, it has to be planned and phase-wise.
Now let's talk about the ambulances out there, because every day we are covering stories from different parts of Mumbai where people are complaining that they didn't get ambulance on a time, especially when we have a dedicated ambulance number, that is 108. Today also I covered one of the story in which the family told us that they didn't get an ambulance at least for 4 to 5 hours. So what exactly is the status? Because we just heard a press conference of Honorable Municipal Commissioner who said that more than 400 ambulances have been deployed. So where these ambulances have gone now?
Marish, the ambulances are being used. They're actively in use because as we speak also, yes, unfortunately, there are people who, are getting ambulances a little delayed, but there are also people who are reaching the hospitals. The scale of this pandemic is so huge that how many ever cars you deploy, vehicles you deploy, how many ever beds you deploy, at a certain point, you will face a deficit of it. There are 400 ambulances that we've retrofitted from the BST, from our school buses, from our public transport buses for ambulance use. Having said that, we will always fall short in a population like ours. Where other countries, like say any other country which is really well developed in terms of health systems, are facing a shortage of beds, hospitals, and ambulances, our population is really too large. So we cannot be hiding facts, or we cannot be running away from the fact that we need to look at it in a patient, ambulance, and population ratio. But having said that, we're doing everything we can.
But why can't we just put any kind of cap? The way Maharashtra government have acquired the 80% beds from the private hospitals, and on those 80% beds, the patients will be getting treatment and they have to pay the fees as per the government structure. So why can't we put any kind of a cap on the private ambulances also? Because we have been given to understand, Aditya, there are some private call centers which are operating and which are charging 9,000 to 14,000 rupees just to take patient in 1 or 2 kilometer near hospital.
There are also ambulances on the other side which are doing, good work, and they're being good Samaritans and taking people for free. So there will be a flip side to the coin always. But the point right now is, apart from the availability of the ambulance, there's also a turnaround time for every ambulance. You need 3 hours to disinfect an ambulance. You need to have drivers who are not scared of, taking a patient around. It needs to be clean. Again, you need to have non-COVID ambulances also. So there's this, working that is constantly going on, and it's, going on every single day.
What about the lockdown, Aditya? Because people are curious that other cities have opened up. The cities like Delhi, or we can say Bengaluru, they have been opened up. So what about Mumbai? Will there be any kind of extension that the Maharashtra will again experience, or people have to wait for some time? What do you have to say?
The Honorable Chief Minister has said that just like we did not go into lockdown in a knee-jerk way, we cannot come out of a lockdown suddenly. There are different perspectives of herd immunity, about herd immunity. One perspective also says that you are giving up with herd immunity. The other perspective says that you are building herd immunity. While all of that goes on, we have to safeguard our population. Our responsibility for the state of Maharashtra is keeping everyone safe. Like I said, Maharashtra is a very international state. You have a lot of passengers coming in, going out. You have a lot of business, finance transactions going on here. A lot of activities would start. But all of that in a way which is staggered and phase-wise.
Right, if we talk about the medical infrastructure of the city and the way hospitals have been created, the field hospitals, you think that somewhere Maharashtra or Mumbai basically needs new infrastructure, and this is the right time to build this new infrastructure, because as we are seeing that the medical infrastructure of Mumbai has been already crumbling.
Absolutely. If you see, this is the first time we had a for health and education. This was one of those budgets where you had a lot of spending in health and infrastructure, which was supposed to happen. Unfortunately, we got into COVID. Having said that, Mumbai still caters to large population across the country, not just Mumbaikars, but whoever comes from across the country. In the sense of the BMC, we still today have the largest number of beds for any municipal corporation probably across Asia. Having said that, like I said, for our population, how much ever you do is going to fall short. We also have to maintain preventive healthcare rather than curative healthcare.
There's a discrepancy which you can find on the website of MCGM about the beds, about the ICU beds basically, and about everything. And whatever the BMC commissioner told us today, it was a huge number. So why that discrepancy?
No, the discrepancy isn't there. It's just that every bed that is being available is quickly being taken up by someone. So obviously there is a lot of input patient. There's also churning where a lot of patients are going back home. This NSCI dome you see here, a lot of patients came from my constituency of Worli. Today, almost 1,000 patients have gone home and only 300 are active cases out here. Likewise, this has started taking cases from other wards and has become a jumbo facility for the entire South Mumbai. We are expanding this into the racecourse. famous studios, Mulund and Dahisar would have 2,000 beds each. Nesco would have 3,000 beds. BKC has about 1,000 beds. That started off yesterday. We're creating first phase of jumbo facilities to be around 9,500 beds.
So what would be the plan for Mumbai now, Aditya? Because people are really scared. People are not coming out of their house. Yes, they are following the lockdown rules, but yes, there is a fear in their mind that what will happen now? What will happen next? What is the plan for Mumbai and how Mumbaikars should support the government?
The first thing is, of course, even as we are worried and fearing, this virus, this is a virus that is supposed to be respected while we fight it. Because nobody in the world today has been definitively been able to say that, okay, we can fight this virus in a particular way. Lines of treatment are differing from one doctor to another. You have people getting cured. You have 80% asymptomatic patients. But the symptomatic patients, of course, need more care, more healthcare facilities. That is what we're looking at. We're looking at also creating a medical buffer of almost 15,000 beds in jumbo facilities. The first thing that we have to do as Mumbaikars and as people from Maharashtra, and of course anywhere in the world, is start taking more care and precaution about your own self. If you save yourself, you're saving many more others.
Last question I would like to ask you, Aditya. A lot of political speculations are happening after the yesterday's meet when Sharad Pawar had come to Matoshri and met Uddhav Thackeray. A lot of political reactions have also come from the national level leader to the Maharashtra leaders. What exactly is the thing? Is the government stable?
It is absolutely stable. It is strong, stable, fighting COVID together, and will develop Maharashtra and the nation in the next few years strongly together. The opposition, I'm not going to get into politics because we have been told by our leadership, be it the Sena leadership, Congress leadership, NCP leadership, not to get into politics. The symptoms I see of the opposition are of indigestion, and probably Gelusilodygine would help.
So that's what we heard from...
They're just not being able to digest the fact that they're out of power, but I think politics in a time of pandemic is probably the most disgraceful thing to do.
That's what we heard from Aditya Thackeray. With camera son Vijay Savle, Mayuresh Karpate for Mirror Now.
Well, politics in times of a pandemic is disgraceful, says Aditya Thackeray, as the Maharashtra Tourism Minister speaks exclusively to my colleague Mayuresh Ganpate, addressing a whole range of issues. Remember, the Maharashtra government has been facing a lot of flack for the rising number of cases, the crumbling infrastructure which has been unable to keep up with that pace of cases, and Mayuresh posing all those questions to Aditya Thackeray there, who was defending the BMC. Incidentally, remember, there have been a number of flip-flops by the government when it comes to policy. Aditya Thackeray defending that, saying we need to evolve as per the situation. Mayuresh joins us for more on this. Now, Mayuresh, you did ask Aditya Thackeray about the shortage in infrastructure, civic infrastructure in these hospitals. Just take us through the numbers and Aditya Thackeray's response, whether the two really square up.
Certainly, Aarti, Aditya Thackeray defended the BMC and state government. He clearly said that, yes, even he admitted, yes, there is a kind of a people who are not getting the ambulances, because the ambulance is a basic thing which will carry the patient to the hospital. But yes, he said, unfortunately, people are there who are not getting the ambulances. But now Maharashtra government, or we can say the BMC, have deployed 400 ambulances. And he said that our condition is better than other developed countries where population is less, but still people are suffering. What we have been given to understand by the BMC commissioner is that now BMC is basically going to tie up with the Uber for the ambulance platform. So they will be using their interface, their database for the ambulance platform. So people will be able to track the ambulance live. Also, Aditya Thackeray said, yes, the numbers are rising, but Maharashtra government and the BMC, especially in Mumbai, are using the new techniques, and that's why people may call it as a flip-flop, but it is not actually a flip-flop. We are evolving with the newer techniques which are there in a medical field.
Mayuresh, thanks so much for that update there, speaking exclusively to Aditya Thackeray, the Maharashtra Tourism Minister, who defended the state government and the BMC. Incidentally, also took a dig at the BJP, saying politics at a time like this is disgraceful.